rarely happening kind of night where I'm actually early by 6 minutes. This has to go down in history because normally I'm late, but I'm a couple minutes early. But remember, as we get going forward here, this is for entertainment purposes only. And I strive to say that now in the beginning for the simple fact that don't take what I'm saying as a grain of salt. And that is going to be your definitive moment where you're just going to make a decision. If it aligns with what you're thinking, if you have a similar game plan, and if it is within an asset that you already desire, or maybe I've opened your eyes to one that maybe you've never thought of. But at the end of the day, you got to remember, I'm not a financial advisor. And this is historical data that I've been so fortunate to have over 45,100 of you join me since my very first day on March 24th of 2021. We'll start off this show by doing a shot for the market, even though I do think one of two things are going to happen. One, I still think XDC is our play against the market, as we've talked about, that it's our, we can look to it, and it's our shred of decency in a market that's filled with so much chaos, only because it's so far behind, or it's slightly ahead, but it's coming back up to at least double top here, or if we can go back from an earlier section, we could be finally breaking out and starting to push back towards that inevitable move back up over the top around 15 cents. We do know we have a Binance listing tomorrow, so being in this prior is a blessing. I've got 200 and something thousand tokens, so to say I've gone heavy on XDC would be the understatement of the century. As I've said, I would not hate on anybody who sold out of XRP after being up 10x and would have flipped into XDC at 7.7 cents. Well, you know, now it's up at 10 cents and XRP's come down from $3.40 or 60 cents. So some people made that move and some people got pissed in the audience. And I said, I cannot hate on you for that because I think it's a great move. I think that XDC's way behind in a sense, but also way out ahead in another sense with some of the rest of the market. Think of all the daily back tests. If this is in fact a forward-thinking moment here for us as a community, can this be the start of something bigger, not just for XDC, but as we go through and look at some of the market, did we not get a golden ticket prior to the FOMC meeting? Or are they going to not raise rates and they're going to wait till the September meeting to cut rates? That is the definitive question we must ask ourselves today. That is the definitive question. If you're asking me if you should buy XDC at 10 cents, where were you at 7.7 or 8.5? Or are you only buying it because it's the outlier right now running? I can't tell you whether or not to buy XDC. All I can say is, as I've said, I'm overweighted in XDC. So decision here. Are they back testing this daily golden cross? Are these actually setting up in the micro setups with inverse head and shoulders that could be back testing as we speak? Or is this going to be an FOMC meeting where they do not raise rates? And this is the first chance we have of raising rates, in my opinion, or lowering rates, in my opinion. This is the first chance all year that I think it's viable for it to actually be a consideration. And the amount of people coming out and saying confluently within the mainstream saying they're not going to lower rates and it's going to stay the same until the September meeting makes me kind of think about this a little bit. It makes me think about it because every other one I said we're not lowering rates, we're staying pat until at least the third quarter or into September before, you know, the fourth quarter starts, I thought would be the best bet. But there's the outside chance. End of July, beginning of August, I thought we could lower rates. Now, if they don't lower rates here, it's going to really handcuff the market here. It's going to be a real hamstrung. Well, I mean, HBAR got a similar listing. Indeed, it did. On Robinhood. I wouldn't consider Robinhood the same as Coinbase, if I'm just being honest. But HBAR is doing the same thing. HBAR got the listing. It's not doing the same thing, in fact, as XDC. You want to know why? Can I let you in a little secret, Lonzo, when you're looking at a chart? Yeah, we might have micro movements. Yeah, we might have micro similarities. Yes, they might have both got listed on different exchanges. Robinhood being the biggest pile of shit out of the two. But, you know, I digress because I don't really like Binance either. But as it goes in 2025, it's becoming more reputable than it was in 22. So, on the breakout of H-bar, it had a nice little move. We already had the daily golden cross back test. And we haven't broken out of it yet, though. We're back testing it again. It had a micro movement up about 10-15%. But now when you're looking at XDC, the one key difference here is XDC had a push up, book down, back up, back down. Now if it can push up, the only difference I see with H-bar is that H-bar, it broke up, but it didn't really do much. We're still back testing, so this move isn't over yet. It's still back testing. I think we got more to look here. I think we got more happening. I think this could just be the start of something much, much greater. What the hell is this with the Dow? But I think we could have something much, much greater here with the Dow. Get out of here, Dow. Let's see if it's ever going to reload. Don't you love it when trading views slow? But I think we're just back testing a greater move here. Like, if the problem is here, if these markets do break down, folks, and these daily time frame golden crosses are invalidated, you've essentially signed a death warrant for a crypto winner here. Do you really want us to go down the crypto winner path? Like, if these daily golden crosses give way, I mean, it's going to be a hell of a breakdown. But these look like flags here for me, like they really do. Everything looks like standard operating procedure. I've yet to see something where I said, oh my God, I need to bash my head through the wall yet. I really haven't. So, I'm trying to look at this one of two ways. One, do we get bad news and the daily time frame gets invalidated and breaks down? Or two, are we getting this clear out before the 2-day FOMC meeting to kind of set the stage for a nice little rally here? Because if I'm looking at this and I'm not in the market, I have a very hard time, if this is a normal situation, going, okay, 4 hourly in the total, or IOTA looks meh, but it's testing the 200-day here. The daily time frame's back testing a golden cross, double bottom. In a sense, I mean, technically we had a double bottom here, and now we've come back and retested this area. So is this a breakdown of epic proportions, or is this a gift? Is it a gift? And that's what we're going to discuss today, even though so many people like to leave in the beginning, which, hey, if you don't like the truth, bye-bye. That's all I can say, bye-bye. But we've got, that's the decision here. In the daily, yeah, it doesn't look great. But we have the back test of epic proportions here, and it's not just IOTA. It's also Algo on the daily golden cross. It's also Ethereum's trying to back test the breakout here. As long as it doesn't lose 3,564, we're good. Sure, it could be a reversal here in the daily, or it could be something more for a continuation. We will see. We will see. But we're going to see if it's an opportunity today. We're going to see how many people are engaged. We're going to see how many people really have the mindset to take advantage. Most people couldn't give a shit when it's in the right point. Good evening. 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Never put your eyes away. Never take a break, because the moment you do, no matter what it is, a whole slew of people will start to take advantage of you. Let yesterday be a reminder of what actually happens when we don't have our best foot forward. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't need to know what I'm talking about, but I know what happened. So this evening, let me go through some of the comments. I'm going to be as transparent as possible here to try to come to the best logical conclusion going forward. It's not much appreciated that people would take advantage of Julie's birthday to start chaos, but, you know, I've been doing this for 4.5+ years. Nothing surprises me. Everybody's worried about their own feelings, but nobody cares about the general feeling of Tom, of XRP Future Millionaire. It's only about what can I squeeze out of them. Remember, the community motto is abundance for all, not abundance for I. If you have that abundance for I mindset, you will not work with an abundance for all style community. Steven, welcome in along with Alec and Frankie Fresh. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Dennis Smith, good evening, along with Shane. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Kyle Kupiak, welcome in. Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts. In Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Lonzo, good evening. AI confirms SHX will be moving 90% of ACH payments by November. That's only 80 trillion annually. Well, not saying that I'm not excited by that, but I don't know if I can trust the Terminator just yet. But if AI says it, at least they pull the general dynamic. But make sure you validate that information. Don't just listen to AI point blank. But good information nonetheless. Ben B, welcoming along with Crazy Pull and Joseph Oil, along with the Cannabis Podcast. Thank you all for continuing to support my work and being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Hamza, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor, along with Swirlview. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Rudy Poo, welcome in. Let's see. Corey Zinberg, good evening. McMichael, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor, along with Crypto Cooter McMichael. Love seeing all of you in here. M7, good evening. Should you buy XDC? I don't know. Is it within your plan? And are you only asking me if you should buy because it's up 12.6% on the day? If you're asking me now, why weren't you asking me at 7.7 cents? And that's what I always ask my audience. Always, always, always. If you're not buying it, or if you want to buy it now at 10.1 cents, and you weren't buying it at 8.9 yesterday or right before this rally, you have to ask yourself a legitimate question. Is it FOMO? Are you trying to chase the easy dollar? Are you asking me a question if you should own XDC long term? Because that's where I get caught the shit up. Because people ask me, should you own something? But then you're looking for the microsecond, but not for the macro move. So personally, I love XDC, and it'll be a long-term one down the road. And it's gonna do something really insane here compared to XRP. I kid you not. And that's only because XRP is already 10x. And XDC is not. And it's going to have the same kind of fundamental setup as far as adoption, as far as partnerships, and as far as utility as XDC and XLM will, if not greater, because of its price point. And that's just my personal feelings, you know. So yeah, I think long term it's a great hold. Up 13% today. You could stub your toe if you buy it at this exact moment. Or you could catch a real nice move. I don't know. That's the tricky thing about listings. Sometimes they get listed, they have a nice little pump, and the moment they list on a bigger exchange, it rug pulls. So honestly, tricky. Especially with an FOMC meeting coming tomorrow. That's a loaded question if I've ever seen it. Crypto Scrooge, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. Thank you so much for that extreme dedication. Don, thank you so much. XDC got a Binance listing. Seems to be a similar pun as HBAR. Similar, but different in their own right. Bless you, Julie. Syrian, welcome in, and thank you for being a very, very trusted mod, not only in here and in the Telegram, and also being part of Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Are the market makers trying to flush out retail before they announce something in the digital strategy tomorrow? The interest rate might be just a distraction. Yes, Mo. That is what I'm trying to ask myself and the audience like I started. And you emulated that question, which is great. Or you enhanced that question with another deeper thought. That's actually a better thought, going a step farther than I even laid out. But yeah, that's the question, because we're at these back tests of these golden crosses in the daily. I've seen nothing yet right now that says, oh my God, this market's shit. Even with Bitcoin, we're back testing the breakout of this breakout. I mean, the breakout of this consolidation. Like, we are back testing it legitimately. And I know in the daily it doesn't look like it, but the 4 hourly speaks it. Like, that is back testing it hardcore. And that's great, the fact we're holding it. If this is the back test and we're about to break out, that's a minor bull flag here with a very sneaky inverse head and shoulders. And yeah, some people say, oh, it's a reach, Tom. No, it's not. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That's not a reach. The bull flag's not a reach. If it holds it, it's not a reach. It's coming to 126 probably. Maybe it gets cut off up here at a double top, but it's coming up there. The target says 126, if not close to it. So until it quacks like a duck, flops like a duck, and drops like a duck, you know, I'm looking at it more of like a bull. Is this a bear trap? You know, is this one of those cases where we're so confident and so many are so confident that it can't do anything but drop, that it's a bear trap to the highest proportion? We start looking at the real technicals. I'm having a real hard time seeing that it's just going to fall out. If it does fall out, that's great, because then we know where the next levels are. But as of right now, I'm having a real hard time seeing this just fall out. If I didn't know any better, this just doesn't feel right for the fallout. Now, it feels good because we dropped from yesterday and the day before, but the overall execution here doesn't feel right for dropping out. No volume on the sell pressure. Nice cup and handles forming. Huge inverse head and shoulders. Most of them are back testing the daily breakout in the golden cross, or at least trying to push that breakout. Bitcoin's above that descending formation on the back test. You know, Ethereum's well over that 3,547 area. A lot of these are back testing that 20-day. Now, XRP's, I don't know. It's so far out ahead of so many. There's still the scenario where XRP could flounder, where a lot of others are starting to find their footing. And that doesn't mean XRP wouldn't go up eventually. Just saying, there could be a situation where we might get 10, 12% movements out of XRP, but these other ones are getting 40 to 100%. By virtue of how cheap they still are. You know, so. But as of right now, we have to look at the patterns. Daily time frame created a new low. But we didn't give up the 20-day. We didn't create a new low in this pattern setup. Just from yesterday in the charts, like XLM speaks it. H-bar did the same thing. But they haven't given the pattern up. Again, H-bar is just back testing the breakout of the golden cross. It's trying to validate the extended move. These are big setups. They're not even close to being finished. I mean, this would push us up into the 43, 44 cent range. It's like eat your heart out at 26.2, because if these do break up in this way. But like I said earlier, you know, you always got to have that warning. You always have to have that blind eye. Hey, like I said earlier, not like I said, but what we were talking about earlier is that if Ethereum broke down 3,721, I believe it was, and it couldn't pull back, that would be a problem. But guess what? It broke that 3,725 area, came to 3,711, and immediately reversed. If this reverses out of here, this is fantastic. It's fantastic. You got a nice inverse head and shoulders consolidation in the small time frames, back testing that breakout all the way down. And now if it breaks out, we can have the real move. And that would get us up to about 4,107 range. And then if it holds that, well, this very well could be the back test of alt season. That's why in the title I said, XRP, Ethereum, and alts, a gift pullback before FOMC, question mark. XDC plus 13% ahead of new exchange listing, even though it misspelled some of my words because it likes to redo it. Mind you, I have to type it in sideways because it puts it horizontal, but it puts it like in the vertical sense when I'm typing, which is great. Makes it nice and hard to do. Hamza says we're in a good spot. I don't disagree with that. Now, if these big patterns break down, they break down. And, you know, at that point, we can start to have a confluent setup. But, like, I don't know. It's either this whole market is one big trap right now, which is possible, or it's more than just these exchange listings for HBAR and XDC. And they're popping off via exchange listings, but the rest of them are in similar setups. So they're not going to get the exchange listing, but by some miracle, they'll end up popping off in a similar fashion, which, hey, you know, it's just, hey, it's the luck of the draw that everything does the same thing at the same time, right? So, oh yeah, the crypto report drops tomorrow as well. Thank you for that, the Cannabis Podcast. That is absolutely correct. Easy, welcome in. Lonzo says XDC top 3 crypto easy. Once global utility unfolds, if not number 2, XRP is how I see it. XLM or XDC? I think XDC is a way more logical choice than XLM. I think XLM's too tight at the hip to XRP to be its own real contender. So it'll be in a similar forecast. I just think XDC kind of does it a little different. And it's going to appeal to more than just the people who appeal to XRP by association, if you want to call it, would appeal to XLM. I think if you're trying to go out on a limb and you have XRP or XLM and you don't want to have both, or you just are sick of XRP or whatever the case may be, go take a shot on XDC, or at least take some. The number one thing that still bothers me about this audience is there's people here that have been watching me since day one that are up 10x on XRP and have not taken that 1x back still. That is basic bullshit investing skills. And yeah, so what? You got to sell off your $3,500 investment. Boo-hoo. So you got to sell. So basically, you have to sell 1,000 tokens out of 10,000 plus that you would have bought. You're selling 10% of your tokens to get your investment back. You know what you do with that investment? With your money back, you go invest in another token while still having all of that left with XRP. Then some will say, well, Tom, I'm not selling it here if I'm going to make $1 million, if I'm going to make it up to 10 or 100. That's not the proper philosophy, though. Because the odds say that you could sell $3,500 worth, send it into something else, and it appreciates faster than it would have been just left in XRP because they're not in the same moments. I just want you to understand basic fundamentals. You put yourself in a hell of a spot, but take your gosh darn money back. Cheers, everybody. Salute. Because that's something that needs to come out every now and then. You've got to take care of yourself. Don't just take care of the market. Just think about it. You take all your 1x back. Let's say you have 10 grand in the market. All of a sudden you get that 10 grand back and you're still very much heavily invested to 80 to 90% of your portfolio. But now you got an extra 10 grand to reinvest into something else. Because you took back profits. You took back your initial investment. You know what else I can't do? You can't be scared out of your position now. Because you don't have any monetary value in it. Even though you could see the screen come down, the price on the screen, but it's on the screen. It hasn't been realized. So that's just a fantasy fairy tale right now. You know how many people I've seen go from 10,000 to 100,000 and right back down to 5,000 and sit there and go, oh my God, how did this happen? FOMO. Greed. The fear of missing out on a position we already had that is already 10x, believe it or not. How do we let greed affect us in the fact we won't even take 1x away? But ask yourself a question. If you invested 10 grand and you were down just 10%, wouldn't you consider selling after just a $1,000 loss? So how in good conscience can you not take back that $10,000 of free money now that you've made it because you made a great investment? Remember, if you don't want to go work the 9 to 5, you've got to be making sure to pay yourself. It's the only difference between a professional and an amateur. The professional knows how to pay themselves back. The amateur doesn't give a fuck. They just say, oh my God, I'm greedy, greedy, greedy. And then when it all comes apart, they say, oh shit. That's why they said to take the money. So that's the best decision I've ever made when it comes to investing, when I learned to pay myself back. And no, you don't have to wait for 1x. Maybe you do 2, 3, 4x. But gosh darn it, we're at 9, 10x right now. Okay? Now, if we fall to 250, wouldn't you wish you would have just did that? You know, if we fall to... Just saying, you got to give yourself a proper fundamental approach to trading. If you're not going to pay yourself back, what's the point of trading? And nobody says you have to put it back in the US dollar, but it's a further trading strategy. I know you don't have every token you want. I know some of them are sexy right now, and I know some of them are piling up. And I know if it falls down another layer, you just wish you had that dry capital. And some of you would just sell out of something you want just to not get rid of something you already have that has already done well. And nobody's telling you to get rid of the whole thing. Just a very small amount of your 10x. 1/10 of that 10x is all I'm asking for. 1/10. 1/10. Then you could join Tom's Army. Join the Telegram. Help us continue to push this narrative. Then you can cancel Tom's Army once you get in so you can pass the check. You know, I was a guy who did it free in the Telegram, but then too many took advantage of me. They kind of roasted my nuts on an open fire, so I kind of had to hit back, unfortunately. Let's see. But I'm telling you, please at least put it in your head that profits are a good thing. If not for profits, what are we doing this for? Flo, welcome in. XDC to the moon. I'd be killing it if XRP hits $20 by the end of the year. I'll release the file. If XRP hits $20 by the end of the year, I'll turn into fucking, I'll turn into a, let's see. If XRP hits $20 by the end of the year, I'll, sure as I sit here, I'll turn into a leprechaun that can shit out gold bars. If XRP hits $20 at the end of the year. That's not going to happen. I wish it would, but it's not going to happen. Let's be honest. We're trying to get to 579 or 549 or 679. $20 by the end of the year is outrageous. If we get to $20 by the end of the year, I'm going to be the happiest person singing the greatest tune of all times. How do you turn $3,400 into 200 grand? XRP. XRP. How do we spell out unrealistic without saying it in tune? XRP. XRP. I guess so. But, you know, I like to speak realism, not unlogical nonsense. I mean, if it goes to $20, I'm going to be the happiest person in the room, believe me. I'm going to be sitting here screaming from the rooftops and, oh, I'm so glad I was wrong. I would, too. You'd come on here and see the happiest freaking person. I was wrong, baby. I was wrong. I'd probably start crying, too, that I was so wrong. Because I'd have so much money in my pocket with all of you. This is the one case I hope I'm wrong, by the way. Very wrong. I hope I'm very wrong. I'm challenging the Matrix, by the way, that XRP can't get to $20 by the end of the year. Prove me wrong, baby. Prove me wrong. Papa Wheelie, welcome in, and thanks for being in Time Zone for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Big Dog and Tango, welcome in, and thanks for being in Time Zone for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. What a great group we have. JW, welcome in. I know you're watching back there. And Tom's Army for, oh, so very long, even though YouTube doesn't allow you to comment, those cocksuckers. Stupid AI and their algorithm. But I know you're watching. I know you're probably commenting in the Telegram. But maybe not. Maybe I'll put you on the spot. But usually JW does during the lives. There we go. JW. Bless you, Jules. Prove me wrong. I've been really busy. Sorry, Jules. I missed your birthday. I'm sure it was a beautiful day with the family. Julie, JW said happy birthday. And Julie says she missed you, JW. She misses you, and she hates that YouTube doesn't let you comment, but we're glad that we can still see you commenting on the Telegram. You know, if a mod's listening, we should have JW section just for the live so that I can go back there and get a spotlight on them every so often during the live. I think that'd be pretty cool. To put that amount of dedication towards the program is next level. Bigfoot, welcome in. Let's see. I like your personal feelings, Tom. I know some of you respect my personal feelings. We do. I don't think loan will ever fill that. Oh, you guys are talking about a different token. All the world stage, welcome. And GBCN had a great day. It seems to be doing the opposite of the market. Seems to be doing the opposite of the market. It does seem to like to garner that liquidity. What's it at now? 15% on the day. That's excellent. Trying to pick up that liquidity. So basically ZBCN and XDC are the outliers today. But, you know, it's one of those things. Like, we're looking at these. And remember when this broke out of the daily, it came all the way back. And it back tested. And now it looks like we're going to give it another shot here. So, you know, definitely pay attention to that if that's one you're on top of. But now look at how we're reversing since we started this live. That's what I was kind of speaking of. All of these are... And some of them are all the way down to the daily on the back test of the Golden Cross. One's like V-Chain, a few others. They haven't even made this formation yet. So it seems that if you're going to buy these are in a hell of a spot to take a shot. And no, it could break down very hardcore and you might be eating it. But sometimes when you're investing or you're trying to make a positional pull, you're trying to find something before the springboard. And a lot of these are in a similar situation, you know, a very similar situation. Band is right here, just like V-Chain. And I understand it fell out of here a little bit, so that could bring us down if we get a rejection here, back down here to like 61. But if not, and we just rise out of here because, you know, let's be honest, we got that little channel formed. And it could either come down, but it could also break out. But when you're looking at an opportunity... Nice big W reversal, nice descending consolidation, nice back test of the 20 crossing the 50 to start. 4 hourly had to kind of reset here a little bit, which it's already back tested, down to the 200, which is what you like to see. And then if it can hold it, it should round up from it. That's the thing. These can all round up from here if they hold these consolidation points. I think it looks worse than it really is. In the smaller time frames, but the daily time frame is saying, hold on. Hold on, buddy. We haven't lost any of this yet. Lonzo says that's exactly why I hold XDC and XLM. I mean, there's no fault there. If it's up to me, I'm holding XDC over XLM. And I think I proved that with how many exactly I hold of XDC. If I would have had $20,000 plus worth of XRP before the 10X, oh my God. So we'll see what happens with XDC, but that's a point of contention for me. XLM is a non-profit coin as well. Well, I mean, there's the claim, but to be honest with you, I haven't really seen the evidence in real life. They can make the claim for tax purposes, but have I really seen that as evidence? Not really. What are they really doing that's different to make it non-profit? Sure, they can write off a fancy tax code, but I've not really seen. I've seen the fancy commercials where they claim it, but I've not actually seen it with my own eyes. But hey, I don't see everything. But yeah, technically. Now for XLM, it's in that same exact positioning. Falling channel. 4 hourly looks a little grotesque, but now it could be rounding around. Daily time frames back testing a golden cross. I mean, these would be the absolute A1 buy points if you can get past it and say, you know, I'm going to ride it out and see if this is for something or not. Otherwise, you're going to take a very big stare down. But this is the spot. Like, this is, I can't stress it enough. If these are to break out, these are the A1 back test spots right now. I mean, just A1 back test. It's almost ironic that they're starting to move up just a tiny bit while we've been live, because they're literally at that point. They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. 12 XRP equals 10,000 XDC. That's crazy. Is that for real? That can't be real. That's not right. 12 XRP is only... That's not right. I was going to say, there's no way. 12 XRP is 369 XDC. That makes sense. But 12 XRP can't be 10,000. It doesn't even make sense. Unless there's a few more zeros in XDC. So, salute everybody before I put my foot in my mouth. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, everybody. Great opportunity at the daily 200 time frame or something more. What does my audience think? What about data? Man, the net, beautiful. Beautiful. All within my philosophy. Data is right here, 20 crossing the 50. Now the 100 back testing. Are you guys leaving?
Yeah.
Bye. Drive safe. Data looks fantastic where it's at. And yeah, like I said before, if these break down, you'll know about it. You'll see it. But if you're looking to take a shot, I mean, you're running out of opportunities where they're at if they're going to pan out. Because they can only come back down here so many times and keep retesting. Notice how we came up. Back tested the 20 crossing the 50 initially when it was about to. Went up. Back tested the crossing of the 50 and the 100 with the 20-day. Went up. Back testing the 20 as support right before a golden cross. This is what you want to see. We are clearing out every layer. Am I scared? Quite the opposite. It's actually quite the opposite here. Hey, I like Stronghold like the rest of us. SHX. But I'm not putting 100% of my stock on what AI said. However, I like that you're using it as a tool because it gives us some information to think about. Thank you so much, Lonzo. Man, $160 billion quarterly is going to be huge. That is going to be friggin' huge. Mr. Calabrese, no problem, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 1 month plus with the XRP Meteor. Says, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Yeah, and ZBCN's been front-running the market the entire time. It's like been on the opposite. All I know is XDC's printing us money today. And if it's an outlier to what's coming in the market, we're going to be very, 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 very happy, Julie. And Julie's like, why are you talking to me? How do I know?
Is it okay that charging is slower than that?
No, you're fine. Julie, you have more say than I do in this house. So, Julie always asks me questions, be nice, but she knows damn well what she says goes.
Hey, I respect you.
know.
Well, I kind of agree with you.
And I respect yours so much that what you say goes.
No.
Keep a oh, hi. Keep a Julie happy makes a Thomas very happy. Remember that.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes, happy wife, happy life. It's a true story. It's a true story. But yeah, if you're looking for opportunity, guys, and I'm going to continue to push this point, this is opportunity. Not all opportunity pans out. Some opportunity goes, ooh, that stinks. We thought we had opportunity, but man, that sucks. That not all opportunity plays out the same as opportunity. You know, that's part of the reason why you start to look at the accumulators versus the swing traders. And it's just like we've been talking about. Yeah, there is a lot of risk here to take a shot. Like, guys, you've got to have a serious screw loose at the same time to kind of take a shot here. But you also have to have some kind of foresight that speaks to you that says, hey, you know, it's not just because I'm taking a shot for no reason. You know, I've got some kind of conviction here that eventually this does, in fact, play out into our favor. And we've been watching it for so long that sometimes you can look at it in an honest eye and say, you know, I'm okay here. I'm okay. I'm okay with whatever happens here. I'm okay taking the shot on the dailies. I'm just okay with this, right? And you've got Dent trying to cross over for the daily golden cross, which it hasn't started. You've got Band in the exact same formation. So I start to look at it, and we'll go by it one by one because I think it's important. And Band right now was up to, I'm looking at my phone at the same time, 80 cents. So now I got about a 10% pullback. So anybody who was watching it make the move before and you're like, oh, damn it. I wish I had some of that. Well, it has a 12% pullback. Are you still in the same mindset now, or are you only in the, and this is a great lesson to have. Like H-bar's down. Here's a great example. H-bar, remember when it had that little pump, and we all like H-bar because it's part of the IOTA, or ISO, and it's part of our long-term plan. When it went up to the top, remember when it was up like 15, 17% on this move? Were any of you that were like, oh my God, I missed H-bar. Did any of you decide to buy it when it was 15% down, 13% down? Or you're going to wait for it to go back up to make that decision? And sure, it could come back down a little bit farther, but the point remains. Like, where's your head at in all of this? Because that's going to tell you a lot about, is this FOMO? Am I buying this because I really want to hold it? You know, or is it something more? And it's going to tell you a hell of a lot about this once you get there. It really does. Like, I can't even express how much it really does open up the narrative here of what you really want. And it's a cool and scary thing at the same time when you're in the moment. Because it's such a hard decision, because you're talking to yourself saying, hey, in the smaller time frames they look one way, in the daily time frames they look another. What's the right answer? We're going to the close at 8. Is this going to be a continuation down the shitter? Or is this going to be an epic reversal here and we're catching it? Or you've already been in it. Or you've been procrastinating, but now all of a sudden you found yourself in a spot where you're going, oh my God. I think there's a real opportunity. You know, that's the things you ask yourself. Like Algo, right now at 26 cents. It's a tough ask because look, we have this little reversal. The daily time frame came down, but it's pulled up. Still have this golden cross beautifully intact. I mean, beautifully. You've got the 20 crossing the 50, and then the 100, 200. The 50 crossed the 200. The 100's about to cross the 200. This is trying to bona fide confirm it. You know, so it'd be a hell of a disaster if you missed out on it out of fear. Now, there's many other things besides fear that play a factor, but a lot of this is going to come down to fear. You know, do you have the tenacity, let's call it, to make a move? Do you have the ability to sit through it, or do you have the hindsight to wait if it doesn't fit your agenda? And there's not a wrong answer here. The only thing I can do is kind of preach it in the way that I see it. And right now I've seen this a lot. This looks like a little more than just we're about to fall out the bricks. You know, it looks, and it's funny because I keep warning about the fact that just pay attention. You know, if it does break these certain levels, just be aware. You know, you don't want to get caught off guard, but at the same time, you don't want to miss a big opportunity that's kind of punching us in the face. So I look at it this way, guys. we all go to work and do our 9 to 5, right? My work happens to be giving you all this content, trying to study the charts, and I do this 24/7, you know, to the point of exhaustion sometimes. I apologize for not being here last night, but I wanted to spend time with Julie. And then I ended up being up until 4 a.m. with T. And now he's asleep right now, so it might be another late night. But what I think we're looking at here is we're looking at a market that is just on the hinge of we know we're getting rate cuts. I don't care what anybody says, whether it happens in the next 2 days or it happens in September, you're getting rate cuts. So maybe, just maybe, this isn't a time where you panic so much and you say, hey, even if I bought in and I'm holding, I'm working a 9 to 5. Why can't I put a couple $100 a week? And let's just say in the next couple of weeks we drop. Why not have a couple $1,000, maybe $1,000, just depending on the size of your portfolio. So my portfolio right now on BITUNIX is like 40,000. So if I wanted 10% of that or 5% of that to make an investment if it went down, and I'm not saying it's all invest, I'm saying that's the size of my portfolio. If it's, and I'm not going to tell you if it's 100% or not, because I'm not in, I think the biggest problem is if I'm influencing your decision because of my portfolio. No, I want what we're showing you in the lives to influence your position. You can't be influenced by my portfolio because we've been in this portfolio in and out, up and down, left and right after big movements. We already had big movements. Now it's the laddering effect. Now I'm trying to figure out the best way to ladder in. And not just ladder in, but buy these at the Golden Cross. Like, I swear to you, if I don't have 30,000 IOTA and this were to break out, I'd punch myself in the nuts. So for that matter, you know, I have 30,000 IOTA, and if it breaks down, I don't need to kick myself in the nuts. I'm fairly confident that I can reassess it, go down, and get 40,000 if I have to sell out at some point. But right now, I'll be goddamned, gosh darned, excuse me, if my mom's watching. Not because I'm afraid to say the Lord's name in vain, because I don't believe goddamn is saying the Lord's name in vain. I believe taking the name of the Lord and speaking for the Lord is actually what it means to speak in the name in vain. I don't think he really cares about word usage in that sense. But at the same time, I respect my mom enough to not say that. So every time I say it, I say, I'm sorry, Mom. I would have been a backhand across the face when I was a kid. No joke. But it's tough. Tough. This is tough. This is the big leagues right now. This isn't the minute shit. Let me just tell you, this is the big leagues of trading right now. Because you got to make some real tough decisions. And let's go into XRPFutureMillionaire.com. And I'm sorry if this doesn't hit the mark, and I'm so appreciative if it does, because I'm really giving you my guts here, guys. I'm giving you my heart and soul right now. Because I've been in this situation many times over the years in different assets. And just when it feels too good to be true, like it's just going to dive and it's all over, you start looking at different time frames and you're saying, what the hell is really going on here? And like when I start to look at these significant time frames, it's starting to be like, what the hell is really going on here? Like, let's just, for example, can we please go to IOTA? And just as much as I love XDC, I crave IOTA. It's like, it would be like how I love Julie, but she's not there and she's disguised in something else. And all of a sudden I see a woman and I'm like, you know, I don't know why I'm so infatuated with that woman. And it turns out to be Julie in disguise. That's how IOTA is. It's like IOTA can take its mask off and be XDC. It can take its mask off again and be DGB, unfortunately. And I might cave with Binance or something just to have DGB. But as of right now, it's the ugly stepsister because of how the DGB wallet didn't work. But the point is I think IOTA is going to make a lot of people a lot of money. It's a mainframe token in the IoT. And some of you are probably so damn sick of me saying this line, but it's so true. Like, look at that setup. Oh, God. I feel like down the road, I'm going to sit here and go, oh, my God, why did I not have more? And that's what I keep telling myself now. And I'm saying, you know what, Tom? Fuck that. You're going to buy them and you're going to buy them now. Or you're going to do what you're going to do. And that's just the way it goes. Moving average convergence divergence in the monthly is flipped very green. Instead of flipping bearish, it's flipped to the next layer of pump. If that's the case, and this is a signal to be heard around the world, oh boy, we're just getting started. The RSI is also breaking bullish, the relative strength index in the monthly. That's another, oh my God, signal. So, and a nice inverse head and shoulders here on the RSI on the back end. So, when you look at all of this and the volume, you're saying, uh-oh. Wait a minute, what is this? Red? What the hell's red? Holy shit, I haven't seen that in a long time. Don! My God, Don, but I can't skip ahead of you just because of the size of the donation. There was one before you, my brother. And I hope you respect it. Alex Tony, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, but also the $4.99 donation, the first donation of the evening, says XDC is printing us money. XDC, oh, it is. Print, baby, print. Print, baby, print. And I already know what I'm doing. I have 215,000 tokens. 15,000 will go into more IOTA. Oh, I'm obsessed. I think I'm obsessed. Something else is going to have to be cut off the chopping block. I'm going to ask my audience, do I take, because I have VeChain in my grand plan, do I take away Alchemy Pay and drop it into IOTA? Or do I keep that $2,500 in Alchemy Pay and let it ride because of where it's going? I'm probably going to do that. I'm just going to have to come up with more capital, which means you're going to have to see me work more. Because I'm going to have to figure out a way to do this. I'm telling you guys, my gut is telling me this doesn't happen for much longer. Even if we get big drops of 20%, it doesn't happen much longer. This doesn't happen much longer, and I have to remember to remain that in my own head. Tom, this cannot possibly last for much longer with IOTA and Algo and Dent and Band and Data and so many others. It can't. It can't. It just can't. It just can't. Don, I don't even know what to say. Don Monarch with a $100 donation. I don't remember the last time I had a $100 donation. There have been some $50 donations in the past couple of weeks, but 100? Julie? Julie? Oh, she must be in the room. But Don, I don't even know what to say. That is unbelievable. That is I just thank you so much for showing such appreciation for my work. And it's because of generosity like yours that I'm able to do this for free every single day. It's just that simple. And it's because of generosity like that that I have not taken any paid sponsorships or sold my channel off just to the greater good to somebody else who's going to tell me what to do for a nice $300,000 to $500,000 a year salary. And it's because I believe in not only myself but this entire community why I haven't done that. Sure, we don't make as much as what they were offering, but I believe in the long term we're going to make way more. Way more. Way more. And I think past history will prove future results. And if you guys stick around here, I promise you I'm going to give you my guts every single day. My heart and soul and the guts, because without the guts you don't get the heart and soul. But yeah, just holy crap. Thank you so much, Don. Like, that is such a humbling thing to see. Your hard-earned money, even at $25 an hour, that's 4 hours of man hours. At $10 an hour, that's 10 hours of man hours. You know, at $20 an hour, that's 5 hours of man hours. At $15 an hour, I mean, that could have cost you anywhere from 3 to 10 hours of man hours, if we're being honest. It's incredibly generous. Unless you're making bank, like real bank. But anyhow, that's your business. But thank you so much, Don. Like, honestly, it's because of ones like you that allow me to give this for free. And the reason I do that is because I truly believe everybody, no matter the size of their wallet, should deserve a chance. I remember when I was piss poor broke, and I was trying to make something of myself, and I would ask these people, can I have your help? And they'd be like, oh, sign up for my fancy classes. Sign up. Dude, I don't got $5. I'm negative 50 in the bank. How am I going to give you $100 for this course? So I do appreciate it more than you ever could imagine. Thank you so much, Don. And everybody else who's ever sent a donation, joined Tom's Army, just simply hit that like button so that I can get this content out there. It's more than just content. It's a mission to me to try to make sure everybody's not broke in this next frontier, because it's going to be a problem. I always get emotional when I talk about that stuff because I know it's going to be a problem in the next frontier. I know it. And guys, Axelar, I don't care if you got to dump something. I don't care what you got to do. But we'll see if this breaks down and gives us a better opportunity. But for now, we're trying to push past this daily. We're back testing these moves. Really doesn't have much farther to fall if it's going to hold this rotation. But Axelar does have a partnership with Ripple. And eventually, you're going to sit here just like I am. And you're going to see this. And we're going to be like, it's not at 36 cents anymore. It's not at, you know. And I almost think like with XRP, can I make a proposal here with my audience? The way I look at Axelar is the way I looked at XRP at 34 cents. You got to have at least 10,000 at this point. If it goes down, we can ride it into the Mayday. And then if it goes down even farther, we can expand and explore. But they do have a bona fide relationship with Ripple. And that could be your legitimate second chance to XRP if you missed it. I say XDC, but if you want to talk apples to apples and something that has much less tokens that could actually get you past. So, Axelar, total supply. Julie, I'm almost done. I promise. You're changing the jamming? Oh, yeah, because you might have to get some rest before T gets up. Or if you're going to... Oh, yeah. So, Axelar, the circulating supply is 301,937,372 with a total supply of just over 1 billion tokens. It's only about 30% in circulation, but 1/100th the size of how many total tokens will be in XRP. XRP open interest sheds 2.4 billion as a price crash next. Great topic of conversation. But again, I don't know, because this seems like a logical back test to what we needed. I don't want to read that, but I'm just showing you kind of what the speculation is. Maybe some people are saying it dropped down to $1.50. Some are saying there's bullish catalyst. XRP eyes $5 breakout if 366 resistance falls. I 100% agree with that. And I'm saying I'm not ignoring what this setup is, right? I am not ignoring. So I am not ignoring. You can read into it however the hell you want to read into this. But I am not ignoring what I'm seeing in front of me. And even with Axelar, I'm trying to drop you dimes here when it doesn't look like dimes are being dropped because it looks so hideous. I'm trying. Whoops. I'm literally trying. Because I feel like you want to be in the moment when something looks like trash, not when it looks like the fucking hero. So Axelar looks like poop. It's had many moments where it tried to break out and it just couldn't fill the narrative. I don't like that chart. That's the I don't like that chart. Doesn't go back the way I want it. Let's see. I'm very picky. I guess we could do that one. And I know it's the same as the other one, but now that I know it's similar, we could do that because then we won't have too much nonsense. So in the month, you can see volume slightly picking up. We got to go into the MACD. I think the MACD, if you're looking at this, and the volume's already on here. If you go to xrbfuturemillionaire.com, this is a website that I created. It's cost me about $6,000 to do. I've literally put back into what the audience has donated so I can make a live API with a dedicated server. This is live API with the price action. And you can go to any chart you want at any time. And it's dedicated servers, live API, so it's up to the moment, up to the second, as a matter of fact. Every single second it updates. And then you can have 3 indicators on here. The monthly, see again, the monthly's hard to see it with this. Daily, I would love to see it in a higher time frame than just the daily. But I don't think we can on this chart. And then your range, you can go from 1 to 1,000. You can go from 1 day to 12 months instead of just the, you know, the monthly. So it's got a lot of value here to use this chart. Weekly, interesting. So we're going to continue to watch. So that doesn't look as hot as as IOTA, right? But this has already made moves. IOTA didn't. So it's back testing. So you get that kind of look. So, and then somebody asked me about Dent, and I think that's a great one to talk about. And that one actually looks fantastic when you start looking from this portfolio. But I want to go into the monthly. So we're starting to flip here. Dent is absolutely flipping in the monthly. That's a great candle. It's a great candle. But yeah, I digress. I know it's been 54 minutes. I'm just trying to show you a different avenue here instead of being so fearful. You know, and yeah, if it breaks down and the dailies do break down, have some dry powder to the side or have your first entry point available. But if you're looking for opportunity, you're looking for these areas. And as bad as it looks is as great as it could be. Like, you are legitimately looking for areas of opportunity. So, you know, that's all I can say really here. And I hope that this found you guys well. I really, really do. King Rebel, thank you so much for the $10 donation. And being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands bands. That's unbelievable. That's $360 over 3 years. It really adds up. That's a lot of money. Holy crap. Thank you so much for that. Come on, Rose. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Are you trying to go outside, kitty? Oh, you can't go outside without food. It's hot. Come here. Let's get you some food. Come on, I'll put some water out here with you too. Come on. Sorry about that, everybody. My kitty wanted to go out, but my cat knows the rule. It's got to have its food. And then I like to put water out for it. It's still 87 degrees. No wonder it feels so damn humid right now. 7:21, it's 87 degrees. But thank you so much, King Rebel. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, you can watch me, Tom, 24/7. And hey, all the world's a stage. Thank you so much for joining Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Please don't forget to look at my YouTube channel and go into here and then go into the post. And don't worry, I'll delete the post ahead of it because that's already passed. I will not delete that because that's my fruits. And it only got 231 views, but you guys should see what I have done out there. The 4-8 plant are now 8, almost 9. My oats have their first flower that I've ever seen. Or at least the next step where the oats are growing after the grassy look for the last month and a half. So I'm very happy about that. But make sure all the world's a stage. Make sure you click on the Telegram link. And it'll allow you into this beautifully evolving Telegram. So we have the group trading setups, content links. We've got the general chat. The priority page, which is the pager. I'm going to start putting my stuff or the mods if they have anything important to say, just so it doesn't get caught up with everybody. You have the technical lounge with Nick. Nick Morales is not only an admin in there, very trusted chartist, very, very trusted. I don't know how Tom trades with so many lines, but props to him. I could never. Isn't that the truth, Nick? Isn't that the truth? But Nick does a phenomenal job. I would say he's my understudy, but he's not terribly younger. Well, about 10 years younger, I would say. 8 years, 7 years, 5 years. I don't know. But he does a phenomenal job. He's as good. He's as good, if not better, than I am. So, and then sometimes Nick will say, oh, don't say that. It's like, no, I'm being humble here. You truly do know your shit. So that's why he's got his own section there. If you want to talk to him, don't take advantage of his time. He has a 9 to 5. He's got other life. You know, he's trying to make something of himself in a big way. He's got big goals, so don't step in his way. But at the same time, don't avoid him if you need something. You know, he's there. He's helpful. He's very honest. He has a lot of integrity, so he's not going to, you know, put you down to pasture. But also don't take advantage of his good heart. You know, try to be, you know what I'm saying here. So then when we go back into Copy Trader, the cool thing is the Reader's Digest if you guys are new. This is only 2 weeks we've done. Big props to the Find group, so you can go back in and read the digest. But it is such an exclusive community here. And we have 445 members. I did not make it to where you had to be a part of Tom's Army to join, even if you cancel it after, whatever. But I had to put some kind of safeguard in for the members. I was sick of so many people getting taken advantage of. Spammers were going in on our generosity and then trying to get people to send them stuff, which is stuff I would never do. And if you know me, you would never fall for it. But some people are so new that they get taken for a ride. So I had to put some checks and balances in. And now it's evolving. It's truly evolving. And because of all of you, we're all evolving. So I need to go spend some time with Julie too. I need to go finish what I was doing. But pay attention to what I said in this live in particular. Pay attention to these setups. We have the FOMC meeting. And until these break down the barriers, it hasn't broken down the barriers. So it could be something very, very extraordinary coming. Bitcoin still is teasing that move to 126,000. It hasn't broke this down. Still a nice bull flag setup outside of that descending consolidation, outside of a nice V-shaped recovery as well here. So, and you could say it's an inverse pattern in that very micro time frame. So, you know, let's see if this can hold and maintain. If not, well, obviously we'll deal with it later because we know where the drop would happen to 113 initially. But right now, I don't see anything wrong with this. I really don't see anything wrong with this. It's been a very hard 4 years of dollar cost that we're officially months away from super bananas on point. I know, Lonzo. It's unbelievable where we're at right now. And some people have PTSD or they just don't understand, but we're literally in the next chapter here. And whether it takes 6 months or 6 years, we don't know. But we are heading towards the final phase of what we've been waiting for. And then once government regulation comes in by 28, it's going to be a whole new ballgame. So enjoy it now, embrace it now, and then at least you already have all you've already made, all you've already earned, and everything you've already learned for the next big thing after crypto. So we'll embrace our time here. I'll always be here. I don't know what the exact agenda will be in 28 because I prophesized in 21 about my time coming to an end at 28 to 32. Not on this planet, not in this community, but because I felt strong regulations would come in by 28 to 32. It seems like 28 at some point it might be faster than I thought. So at least it still gives us a good 3 years or so. But then after that, I'll be coming out with the next big thing. Because I don't stay pat. I know money finds yield, and I'm going to find the yield that money presents me. So have a good day, everybody. I hope this helped. I hope you had a great time doing this live. And